I'm going to show you how to repair a ratchet wrench that just doesn't work too well anymore. I've had this wrench for over 20 years, and the other night when I was going to use it, tighten a bolt on, it was skipping. It was like slipping in the little ratchet mechanism. So I'm going to show you how to fix that by taking it apart, cleaning it, and lubing it, and put it back together. First thing I want to do is take it apart, and I can take this little ratchet part out here. There's a little snap clip down here, so using some needle nose pliers, I can squeeze these two little parts together and then kind of wiggle this back and forth and get this little cap part off. And there's a snap ring, there's a little cap, and there's a little ratcheting mechanism. And on your ratchet wrench, the little ring might be a little bit different. It might have like little holes there in which you could use a snap ring tool for that. Some of the ratchet wrenches have Phillips screws, but basically you just want to take it apart. It doesn't really matter the exact design. And on this one here, I want to go ahead and take the little lever off here. So again, there's another little snap ring on here. So I'll go ahead and squeeze these parts together. Let me see. There. And get that out of there. So there's the little lever and there's a little snap ring there. And then this little part here meshes in with this part down here. Now I want to pull this part out here, and I want to be careful because there's a little ball bearing down in here and there's a spring that goes back down in the handle. So I want to make sure that I do not lose the little ball bearing or the spring in there. So I just kind of grab a hold of this here and lift this out carefully. And there's the ball bearing there. And I can reach in and carefully pull out the spring. So there it is, all taken apart. Now you want to clean the parts, get rid of all the old grease. You can use a solvent such as brake cleaner, or I'm going to use paint thinner. It's just one of my favorite cleaners for getting rid of old grease. Take a toothbrush or something like that and just scrub out and get rid of all the old dirt and grease. Now take all the parts and dry them off, and then just let the whatever remaining paint thinner that's on the parts evaporate off. Okay, I'm ready to start putting this thing back together, and I have to lubricate it. Now, as far as what lubrications to use, there are about 1 million different opinions on what the best lubricant to use is. Some people say grease, some people say oil, and in fact, some lubricants work better in some ratchet wrenches and others work better in others. In this case, this is a Craftsman, so it has really large teeth. So like a thicker grease will work on this, but like on some tools with smaller teeth, a thicker grease isn't going to work well. Oil is going to work better. So you really have to kind of try something and see what's going to work for you. What I'm going to use is called Super Lube. I got this at Harbor Freight. It was $6 minus a coupon. So, and I've read really good reviews on this. A lot of people have had luck on this. One thing you want to do is use just a very thin coating of it. You don't need to pack this thing with the grease. So what I'm going to do is just dab it in there and rub it around and just try to get on a thin coating on all the surfaces in there. Same thing in here, just a thin coating in there. And then get it on this part here. I mean, it doesn't need to be caked on. And then around on here, get some on the teeth here. And get some up around in here. And some just around down in here. Like that. And I think that'll work pretty well. Okay, first thing I need to install is the spring. And one thing you can do with the spring, if you don't think it's pushing the ball a little bit, is you can just maybe just stretch this just a little bit. Don't stretch it too much, but just a little bit. And that's going to go in the hole in here. So I can use the needle noses, kind of hold it there. And just insert it into the hole down in here like that. Now, this comes the tricky part, is I'm going to take the ball bearing and I'm just going to set it on top of the spring like that, so it's going to sit there. Now I need to put this part in. And so what I want to do is just slide this in, and so these little notches over here, this little point here is going to be facing down the handle, and so the ball bearing is going to rest in either one of these little notches there. So to slide this in, I'm going to hold it like this, line the ball bearing up with one of those notches, and just carefully push this in, and nope, it knocked the ball bearing out. So this is the trickiest part. Try to get this in without knocking the ball bearing out. So you kind of push the ball bearing in and get that in. And got it in place there. And then with a little screwdriver here, you can sit there and just kind of turn this back and forth, and you can kind of see the ball bearing resting in the little notch down there. So that's actually the hardest part right there. So now I need to reinstall the little lever here. And the easiest way to do this is go ahead and get this little notch right here facing straight down, because this little part here needs to line up with this little notch there. So I'm going to take this little spring clip, and there's a little slot around here. So I'm just going to put that down in that little slot like that. Then with my needle nose pliers here, squeeze these together. Kind of get a little bit better grip. And then get this down into place like that. And so now that's all snapped in, and it's snapped right down in that little part down there. So that's working really well there. Now, the next part is to install the little ratchet part here. And easiest way to do this is, because this little part here is going to go down through the bottom there, so it's kind of hard to do this like on a flat surface. So you kind of have set it up here like on a raised surface, kind of like this. Set this down in here, and you might have to let me see here, and flip the little lever so that it can kind of get all meshed down in there. And then I got this part here. So again, this has got a slot around it for the snap ring. So I'm going to squeeze this together like this, fit this down over there, and push this down. And you might have to wiggle it around a little bit to get it lined up in there. And wiggle back forth a little bit. There. And get it down and it'll snap down into place like that. And that is it. Now this thing is all back together. It should be working quite a bit better. I can see this is also now much sturdier down here. It was flopping around a little bit more than this before. Okay, let's try this out. This is the bolt and the lock nut that I was having issues with the ratchet wrench slipping on. So let's go ahead and try this. And it's not slipping at all. So definitely, it's working really nice now. Let's try to loosen it. Oh yeah, it's working really nice now. And that is how to clean and lube a ratchet wrench to make it basically renew the performance of it. Hopefully you found this video helpful or interesting. If you have, please click the like button. I always appreciate getting likes on my videos. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. There's a big subscribe button down here, and click on that and you subscribe to my channel and you'll see new videos as they come out. Anyway, thanks for watching.